to Goddesses Word Fed, your sacred space for abundance, where feminine power meets financial freedom. Step into your light, your energy bright.
Welcome, goddesses. This is Jasmine, your host. And again, this is the space for not only alignment, for abundance, and stepping into your goddess life. And that is basically the biggest or most emotional episode of all for me, because this is what I do to step into my goddess energy, the goddess that I embody. And what is a goddess? First of all, for me, studying goddesses through the years is not only the embody of love, strength, beauty, and certainly mainly for love to them and others. And in today, like I said, episode is really close to my heart because I'm not just teaching, I'm sharing my life, my truth. And this goes back to certain, every time that I will move, it will be those uncertain times that I'm talking about. And those were the ones that have shaped me and shaped me the woman I am. So what is about taking a step into the goddess energy, even when, what does it mean? This is not for you to think that I am trying to impose and to do things that obviously you don't want. This is a very personal experience for everybody, but I do invite you to seek for that. What is it that makes you happy? What is that meditation series that will help you to embody that goddess that you are? Because in my opinion, every single woman, every single girl and women are goddesses in their own right. We are divine creatures. We are divine creation, and we are not here by accident. In my opinion, God doesn't make, extra humans for the sake of having humans in this earth. Everybody is a not only divine creature, but a miracle at the end of the day. So let's get started. There's always times when not only me, but everybody feels not that powerful and not that alignment. But thank goodness for my mother and all the women around me. They have shaped me to recognize those moments. And that's the number one thing that I actually do mentally first. I first recognize the times that are not feeling certain. So I recognize that, okay, so this is not certain. This is not cool. This is what happened. Is not cool. So what can I do to fix it? To always find a solution. And my grandmother used to say, there's always a solution for everything except death. That have always got me out of many problems and stepping into that powerful force to change things. So one of the things is to recognize whenever you're not feeling okay, this is not okay. I'm going to give example of relationships. When you find that moment that you're like, you know what, this is not working the way it's supposed to be working. This is not anymore feeling the way it's supposed to be feeling. And you will recognize those moments right away. It's not like a small voice. It could be a small voice in the moment, but it is a loud voice nonetheless whenever it's just not okay. So one of the things that I do is recognize it and see what can I do as a solution. I remember a teacher specifically that a math teacher, whenever we will have a problem that we feel stuck, she would say, okay, I can help you, but tell me what you think it should be the solution or the problem solving. At least give me a that you have thought about it. I don't want you to give you every single time the answer, or I want you to walk you through it, but at the same time I want you to realize that you have the power to solve it as well. So that's one of the things that I will do every time. Another thing that I will definitely do now is to apologize to me, to apologize to God, to apologize to whoever is in front of me for feeling that way. For let's give an example. If I'm not feeling 100% about this, I feel grumpy, I apologize. I'm not feeling fine right now. And then this is where the magic starts, because you not only recognize it, but you also understand that it's not only about you, it's about the other person as well. So in case that you hurt somebody's feelings, or if it's something that you're struggling yourself, but if you're struggling yourself, you have the compassion to continue loving yourself as well, which is so important, because we talk so negative about ourselves. And I remember a study that said that of most 80 to 90% of our thoughts are not only bad thoughts, but the recycled thoughts from the past. So let's say that you have a bad experience with a car, correct? And that car, years later, you see it, but since you had that bad experience in the past, that's the only thing that you will remember, and that's the only thing that you already place your mind into a negative thought. So by apologizing, by apologizing is telling you that it's okay that you feel that way. You still can go back to love that person. So that's number 2. And another thing that I make sure that I always do is to have a everyday ritual. I'm all about rituals. I'm a ritual for planting my garden. Anything if you know me, I have a ritual. If you see my purse, I have crystals, I have cards, I have Palo Santo. Anything that will help me to not only shift my energy in the moment, but help the environment. Sometimes you're in a place where you just like, it's just not your place. So how can you make it where you shift? Because that's another thing. Sometimes you cannot change the things that are outside of your control, but you can definitely change the things that are in your control. And if you have to take out that Palo Santo and shift it, and then do it. I also have, for instance, a rose water mist. So whenever I feel really hot and uncomfortable, for some reason, I call it the mist, the magical mist, because it just not only cools you down, but the scent just make you feel feminine and goddess. So those are the things that for me is very important whenever I want to shift my energy to who I am. Another things that I religiously do is to always wear something that flatters me. Always put something that makes me feel good. I do not wear anything that doesn't make me feel confident and love for myself. And as you see me many times in videos, I always wear makeup. And I wear makeup every day if I can. If I have to run to do something, probably not. But I try to always be presentable and presentable. So whenever I see in the mirror, I see one of the best versions of myself. I always want to, even when I'm sick, I put makeup so I can lift my spirit and to feel better. For instance, this year I got sick twice, and I swear, you guys, is not only uncomfortable, but it makes you just feel drained mentally. And that I will make sure to put makeup on so I can feel, like any other day. And that goes for even at work. Even if I'm working at home, usually my jobs that I have worked remotely I always make sure that I dress professionally, even at home, because I cannot feel professional, I guess, enough if I'm wearing flip flops or pajamas. So that's something that I will make sure to always do. And also listen to your heart at the end of the day. What is it that is not syncing or not feeling correctly? And that goes with everything after that. So whenever you recognize it, and what can you do to change it, then take it. And it doesn't have to be a dramatic or drastic change right away, but it is a decision to make in that moment that it needs to be taken. How many times, I don't know if you have that feeling when you're like, oh, this is not my place, let me just get out. Yeah, that's a drastic change, but at the same time, you sit down and you're like, okay, this is not for me. Then you just sit quietly and just let that other person speak. I have done that thousands of times when I'm like, this is not worth me discussing it with that person, but I'll be there in silence, in presence for the other person. But you make that decision that you're not going to continue with that conversation because whatever reason you don't want it to continue doing that. And that's about it. Is those simple shifts and those simple decisions that I make every day to make sure that I'm always elevated my energy. Because when you do things in a lower vibration, you just get stuck in there. And that's how I feel. For instance, something new that I have to do that I'm not familiar with. Let's get this particular example, the podcast. I have never done podcasts before. And I was like, if you ask me when I started, you're going to do a podcast, I will say, no way. There's no way. I was very resistant to it. And at the end of the day, I was thinking, why am I resistant to it? This is ridiculous. It's just talking to a microphone. So I shift immediately my negative thought about it, but it took that decision to make, to physically say or or in silence say, this is not for me, let's change it and move on. and not get stuck into it. That's another thing. Don't get grouch. Don't hold grouch into things that did not work in the past. If it's like that, then we will never go forward. For instance, for your grades, when you're in school, you're going to have failures. You're going to have embarrassments. You're going to have that test that you study forever, and it did not went how you wanted, and it's okay. At the end of the day, it's going to happen. Failure is not a if it's going to happen. It will happen to all of us. There's going to be disappointments. There are always going to be things that it did not go as planned. But at the end of the day, is our job to move forward or fail forward, like so many goddesses before me, and at the same time do. Is any business woman that you will talk will tell you the same thing. Move. If you're going to fail forward, and don't think about it more than 2 weeks. My mother's have actually less time. She would say, if you need to cry about something, cry for 20 minutes, and that's it. And then move on. You stop right there, 20 minutes, and then move on. That was her rule. And until this day, I follow that one. If I have to cry, I will cry for at least, at the most 20 minutes. And it have helped me to move from sad moments, of course. And with that, I hope that you are doing fine. And now, as you know, I just opened for enrollment my 40-day journey to connect with yourself and step into the goddess entity and prosperity and wealth. Because whenever you are sure of the way you feeling about the world and your message and what you're aligned to come to this earth, then that's where the wealth and prosperity comes. And this particular program is a program that I do every day. So I invite you to have a look. And if you have any questions, of course, please come forward and tell me you're ready so you can know more about these programs. These programs have crystals. These programs have mantras, sacred mantras that for goddesses Lakshmi, and also yoga mudras, as it's called in the Kundalini yoga world, that have helped me also step into that. It helps me every day to step me into goddess feeling. And with that is it. And I invite you, like I said, to come forward and let's do it together. This is something that, again, is very personal, that I hope that you will also adopt in your life, but it can also be a bridge to those rituals that you will make you the goddess, or feel the goddess that you are. And with that, I will say goodbye until next time. And again, remember, we are goddesses in our own right. We are creatures, divine creatures in creation. And that is what it's all about, to feel that way at all time, or recognize it. That it's funny because my boyfriend said that whenever I'm grumpy, I say it. I'm grumpy. So just to let you know, it's not going to be pretty for a couple of minutes, but I'll be back to who I am. But anyways, I'll say goodbye for now.